Hello, everyone. Welcome to English 1A. My name is Benjamin Armitage. I'm going to be your teacher for this online course. And in this video, and please watch the entire video, I want to walk through different features of the class to give you a sense of what you're getting into, help give you a sense of the expectations. Here's some general information. This is really important stuff. This is the email, how you can contact me, but Canvas also has its own little email messaging service, so you can just email me through that, and it's just as easy. So you can contact me through Canvas. In fact, it's actually kind of easier for me if you do contact me through Canvas. It's easier to manage the email. If you're able to come to campus, I know a lot of you are like all around the world. Some of you are in other countries, other states. So you might not be able to come to campus, but if you are, I do have office hours in room 6044, Mondays through Wednesdays. Also, if you're not able to come to campus, we can always conference right here on Canvas. They have a little conference option over here, and we can meet up that way. It works just as well. Some important dates. January 21st for refund is also the first day you can drop without a W. After that, you take a W or a letter grade. So if you're not really sure what to do there, my advice would be to talk to a counselor to see what's the best option based on what your grades are, what your transcripts are. It's better to take a W or a letter grade. Okay. The final exam. This is super important. It's going to be accessible for either 24 hours or 48 hours. I haven't decided yet on that. It's going to be on Canvas. You're going to have essentially one day, and the exam will last 2 hours. So you have one day where you need to log on, March 27th, and you need to make sure you have at least 2 hours to take the exam. Okay, so maybe block that off in your calendar, your schedule right now. On that day, the final exam will be made available, and you'll have to give yourself at least 2 hours to do it. We will be using Turnitin.com for a lot of our essay assignments, not all of them, but a lot of them. And so you will need to go to Turnitin and use these credentials to get into our class. It's pretty easy if you've never used Turnitin before. Go to Turnitin.com, create an account, and the very first thing they're going to ask you is what's the class ID and what's the password. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, hey, I've taken a Canvas class. Can't we just submit? Doesn't Turnitin submit on Canvas? I don't know. It's really glitchy. I tried that once with a class, and I always had about 5 or 6 students that Canvas would corrupt their essays, and I couldn't read them, and it was a huge mess. So you know what? I've given up on relying on Canvas's Turnitin tool, so we're not going to use it. Sorry, that means you do need to go to Turnitin, and you're going to submit your essays on Turnitin. But some of your essays will be submitted here on Canvas. Just so you know, we will be using Turnitin, so go make sure you have an account and get into our class. It's one of the first things you should do. Okay, so other things that are going in the class. You will need They Say, I Say. I would get that as soon as you can. We'll probably start reading it next week. So you need to make sure you have it. The Influencing Machine, we're going to start reading that week 4. So if you want to take some more time before buying that book, that's fine. Just keep in mind, once week 4 rolls around, we will immediately start reading The Influencing Machine. So I'd encourage you, maybe have it by week 3, right? So you're just ready to go. Here's our course description. And what you'll see here is what you should expect in this class is that we're going to be writing a lot of essays, and we're going to be experimenting with different kinds of essays. So this class is about, critical reading, critical argumentation, composition of ideas. So you're going to be learning about essays, you're going to be learning about how other people write essays, how other people persuade, how you persuade. And so we're going to be working with a lot of different sort of experimental genres of essays. Like we're going to have a letter of civic engagement, we're going to have a dialectic essay, we're going to have a literature review essay, and then also we're going to have like those standard thesis driven essays, and that will be the midterm and the final will have those specific kinds of essays, which the 5 paragraph, give me the thesis, give me the body paragraphs. But all of our other essays, except for the midterm and the final, they're going to be other kinds of genres where you're doing other kinds of writing. Okay, so grading, it's important to kind of pay attention to this so you know where you're at. This will all always be on Canvas. You know, I update grades fairly regularly. Sometimes things aren't updated, so if you're ever worried, you can always just email me and say, hey, my grade's not updated on this or that, and usually I can get it fixed for you pretty quickly. But if you want to get a sense of like all the different assignments of what you're going to be doing, here's how they break down. Participation is really for students who are engaging more. So if you just go into the discussion threads and you only post your comment and you never look at other people's comments and you never respond to other people's comments, that's what affects your participation grade. So if you want to make sure you're getting full credit for participation, whenever we have discussion threads, go in and make sure that you're reading other people's comments and responding to them. Okay. And then these are the essay grades here. So if we go down, I want to say something about an online class. Okay, please pay attention to this. I think a lot of students, here's what I've noticed, and I've had a lot of students tell me this, that they're used to taking online classes, I think, in other departments and other divisions. So not necessarily English classes online, where really the way you take the online class is you have the textbook in front of you and you just do quizzes and textbooks, and you don't really do anything else in the class. You never interact with the teacher, you never interact with other students, you just log in, you read the textbook, you find the information, you put it in the quiz, and then you're done. That's not this class. This is a critical reading and critical composition class. So the requirements and the expectations for an online class are slightly different from that. There's going to be very little of looking at textbooks and doing quizzes, right? That little combo. We're not really doing that. There are going to be a lot of discussions. There's going to be a lot of reading, writing smaller pieces and building essays over time and interacting with other students and interacting with me on this class. So you should expect that this is not like your other online classes. And you're probably going to need to log in on Canvas 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week to see where the discussion threads are and see what other students are saying and then respond back. So just understand that this is a class where you do have to interact much more frequently, and there's going to be more student to student and student to teacher interaction than you might be used to with online classes. There's also this I find is really helpful and students have used this, is the Net Tutor link, and if it's not up here, I'll make sure it is. Yeah, it is already available. So right over here, you'll see under the syllabus, there's Net Tutor. So that can help you as well if you find you're struggling with this class at any point. If you're struggling with this class, you should contact me. Let me know you're struggling. I'll do everything I can to help you. And then also you can use Net Tutor, and that's a really helpful service. Okay, so just so you know, you do have to log in and do things. Some of you have really busy schedules, so you might try to log in like once a week and do everything on one day. I get that. And if that's your style, you'll be able to do that, but it'll end up being a lot of work on that one day. But, you know, if someone is going like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks where they haven't done anything in the class, just understand that you might put yourself in a position where you'll end up being dropped from the course. Okay. So plagiarism, please, read through this and make sure you look at the Foothill policy on academic integrity. We're going to be using Turnitin.com. So you already have the ID and password listed above, but we're also going to be using something called Proctorio. I use Proctorio to make the class more accessible for students. Okay. So I have a lot of students who, aren't in the area. And often with an online class, what the teacher will do is you take the class online, but then for the exams, you have to actually come to campus and sit in a room and take the exam. I'm not going to do that. We're not. You're never going to have to come to campus unless you really, really, really want to. So instead of doing proctored exams on campus, we're using this service called Proctorio, so you can take the exam anywhere, from the comfort of your bedroom, your kitchen, your living room. You can go to a cafe, wherever you want to go. You can take this exam. And I want to make sure you all familiarize yourself with Proctorio. So please, before you do anything, go into the Getting Started with Proctorio student guide. I think they have like a practice quiz. that you can take there, and I want to make sure you take that practice quiz, and then the first thing you do this week is this essay one. It's remotely proctored. I know essay one sounds really scary, but it's just a way to start the class. It's not even graded. I'm just going to ask you to read something, and then I have a little prompt for an essay I want you to write. And you'll have 90 minutes to complete the essay. And the purpose of this, there are three things I'm trying to do with this first essay. One, I want to get a sense of how you read things, because that's going to help me decide if I want to add or subtract or change some things over the first 2 weeks of instruction I want to give you as far as reading and writing is concerned. And then also, I want to make sure everybody knows how to use Proctorio. So make sure you log in and you're able to use it. And make sure you have a good internet connection when you're trying to do proctored exams. Now, that being said, if anybody's having trouble with Proctorio, you can contact me and maybe we can figure out other options. Every once in a while I do have a student where Proctorio just isn't functioning on their computer, and so they have to come to campus or something like that. You have to have, so a couple things to do Proctorio. You have to use Google Chrome, so that's your internet browser. So instead of using Firefox or Safari or something like that, you have to use Google Chrome whenever you're doing proctored exams. Maybe you hate Google Chrome, you don't have to use it all the time. In this class, you can use pretty much any browser you want, except when doing Proctorio proctored exams. You're going to have to use Google Chrome. And then you have to make sure that you have installed the Proctorio app on your Google Chrome. So make sure you've done all that, and then try to take this quiz. Hopefully everything will work. And the next thing I'd like you to do, since this class does emphasize a lot of interaction between students, and you kind of have to get to know one another and you have to know how to talk to each other online, I just have this icebreaker discussion thread that I'd like you to complete this week. And then we'll get started on this class. And I have a couple assignments you can start looking at. We have the first major unit is already available. You can see essay 2. You can read the prompt. I also have a video there explaining that. And so most of the class is going to be right through here, through these modules. Unit 1, and you kind of go through and you work on these things one at a time. And you kind of click through and make sure you're completing these different kinds of assignments. If you have any questions, go ahead, send me an email, or stop by if you're on campus or conference with me. And if you any way I can help you, let me know. And I'm looking forward to meeting you all online and learning more about you and how you write. Go ahead and contact me if you have any questions. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you all start posting.